Hello everybody and welcome once again to Top Hat Chat live with me, Street and Orb. Today on the channel we are up to episode 29 of the Great Gaming Debate, where tonight we are going to be discussing our gaming guilty pleasures. And by that I mean Orb's gaming guilty pleasures, because every game that I liked when I was a kid was great.
That's such a lie.
Well, I couldn't think of any.
I literally refuse to believe that everything that you liked as a child was good.
I couldn't think of any. My homework was to try and figure out exactly what was going on and what games I really liked that were actually terrible. And as I went through them all, I was like, no, that was good. I don't care what people think. So now we're looking at your gaming guilty pleasures.
Yeah, so these are games that are arguably objectively bad, right? But they hold a special place in my heart that I just can't get over. I can look past the awful gameplay and sometimes the shitty music and graphics and whatever, but I still absolutely love it, 100%. So we're gonna go through a few of my favourites. And to be fair, what I'd like to see is people in the chat drop in any of their favourite games that they love that other people hate.
Yeah, I think that's really good. I think that's something that I would like to see, because I want to see if any of mine are on that list.
I'm sure there will be, because I just can't believe that you seem to think that you only liked good games.
I only like good games.
That's a horrible thing to say.
I'm not a schmuck.
You are a schmuck.
I'm
You're
not.
a schlub. You're a schmuck.
I only like good games. I can't help it. Anyway, so I think we need to start talking about probably the first game on the list that we desperately need to get into and start talking about. So what's your first gaming guilty pleasure?
I'm going to go for a really big one for me.
Okay.
I absolutely love this game, and I can't fathom why, because I do have a funny story about it. It kind of upset me as a kid, and that is Rugrats: The Search for Reptar on PlayStation 1.
Why did I know you were going to bring this up at some point?
Because I always talk about this game as a game that I really want to play on stream at some point.
Yeah, you have said this, and you said that you could do it in a night.
I can. Me and Garfolk did it in one night.
I think you said you could do it in a couple of hours. But...
You can do it in a couple of hours. Me and Garfolk did it in like 3, I think. Not that long ago either.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we just stayed up one night and randomly decided to
We should do it.
But yeah, but it's PS1 game. It's kind of like a third person platformy action. Not platform's a bit harsh, a bit much. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe. It's just a game where things happen.
Yes.
In the universe of the Rugrats, the classic TV cartoon from the 90s that everyone I'm sure remembers and adores. But it is something that I have so much love for. The music, I can remember pretty much every piece of incidental music used. It has such an impact on me personally that my text tone on my phone is the Rugrats start episode theme. The ba-ba, boom, 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 boom. I love it.
Really?
Yeah, of course it is, because it's loud, it's obnoxious, and it pisses people off who I'm with. That's why I have it, but also it's because Rugrats has such a huge part in my heart.
Is it that good?
Yeah, well, no. Objectively, it's not. The controls suck balls. The graphics aren't good. It does look like the cartoon, which isn't the best drawn of cartoons anyway, to be fair. But I love it. The music is repetitive and annoying, but again, I love it. It's probably rated very poor. It's extremely short, very short. But it's got a little bit of my heart.
Yeah, I mean, I actually did play this game, and I didn't play it massively, but I did play it. And I remember renting it out from Blockbuster. I don't know why, because now I'm thinking it's a terrible idea. Why would I want to actively go and find this game? Would I really want to do that? No, of course I wouldn't. But I think I enjoyed it as a kid, actually.
Oh man, loads of people enjoyed it as a kid.
Loads might be a bit much.
Yeah, maybe that's a bit much. And like I said, it's very much a rose-tinted spectacles thing for me. The funny story I have about it is I purchased it with my birthday money one year when I was young. And I completed it the day I got it. And I was really upset about the fact that I'd completed it in one day. But it's just caught me in such a manner that actually I can overlook the fact it caused me childhood grief.
But the game was not great. I mean, it looked terrible at the time. What kind of games did you pass up to buy Rugrats?
I don't know. I can't even remember what year. It would have been 98, maybe 99. So
you passed up some good shit.
yeah. Well, I played that too. I just happened to play this at the same time.
Yeah, but for your birthday money.
Yeah, I'm not very good at spending my money. I'm really good at spending other people's money. When I spend money for myself, I buy really shit things. When I'm like advising people to get things, they get really good things, and it's really annoying.
Oh.
But the PS1 is something that you'll actually notice a lot of in this list. There is a ton of PlayStation 1 games that are objectively terrible, but are a proper gaming guilty pleasure.
Kind of like Toy Story.
Toy Story, what? The Mega Drive game?
Yeah.
That's a good game. That still holds up.
It reminds me of that, though.
Yeah, that still holds up. That's still a pretty decent game. See, I almost put Cool Spot on this list. But Gruesome Houston talked me out of it. I was talking to Gruesome about it, and he said, no, Cool Spot was a good game.
It wasn't.
It was a good game. And I'm like, no, you are right. Cool Spot was a good game.
Cool Spot wasn't a good game. But we need to move on to a game that actually is one of your guilty pleasures. So, next game on the list.
I'm going to go for a twofer. They kind of link together
Okay.
because they're from the same universe. I've got two twofers in this list.
Okay.
This is the first twofer I'm going to go for. First part of which is Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace on the PlayStation 1.
Oh, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
A welcome one because it's not very good. It's not. People didn't like it. It's not a good film. People didn't like the film. Graphically, it's pony. I remember having a hell of a lot of fun playing it as a kid, and I have revisited it probably in the last sort of 5 years, and I enjoyed it again when I played it then. And I know this is one that Top Hat will agree with me on. Actually.
Of course he will. It's Episode 1. Episode 1, anything he likes.
Yeah, no, that's very true. But he likes that game as well.
He's not objective.
He's not objective, no. But I do really like it.
You're right, the graphics were terrible, but you wanted something Star Warsy, and it did provide something Star Warsy.
It did. It did provide me something Star Warsy. Much like the other game in this twofer, which is another PS1 gem. And it's not a gem. This is regularly listed in top 10 worst licensed games, top 10 worst fighting games, top 10 worst PlayStation 1 games, but I have a soft spot for it. And that's Star Wars Masters of the Terras.
Oh, God.
The fighting... Look, right? This is like pure fan service. It's like, well, what if I won... Who would win in a fight between Slave Leia and Darth Vader? Let's see it.
It's true. I mean, who would win that fight?
Well, I don't know. Whoever was controlling whoever at the point. And according to Masters of Terror, it had a batshit mental storyline that made no sense whatsoever. It had about half a dozen characters.
So is it canon?
I think it was until Disney bought it over and said,
Really?
Nothing's canon!
Oh, no.
It's not really like, you know what I mean? Like, it had characters from the expanded universe in that as a kid you wouldn't have heard anybody talk about. Even though I was massively into Star Wars, I still wouldn't have known I didn't know who these people were. But there was loads of characters that I did know and I did like. And the graphics, though, were pretty good for the time.
They're alright.
Like, they're actually pretty good for a PS1 game. The music is Star Wars music, so you can't go wrong. It's purely down to gameplay that it's thought of as such a terrible game.
The most important bit.
Yeah, I know. But I can get over it and play it. I like playing shitty fighters every now and then, because I do enjoy playing fighting games, like a fair bit, to be fair. So, and I'm not very good at them, like as anyone who's seen me play them on the channel. I'm not very good at them. I'm not very good at a lot of games I enjoy. I'm usually not very good at the ones I enjoy the most, like bullet hell shooters and fighting games and things like that. And
the ones where there's room for improvement.
Yeah, I like that, and I can actually keep a relative calm about that, as opposed to games like GTA and Scarface that we played the other day. I really like those games, and I really enjoy them. I'm not very good, and I get massively fucking stressed playing them. But I don't when I'm playing like Parodius or Masters of the Terras, for example.
Yeah, I mean, just to read a couple of comments out, because I think this is important. Top Hat Game Man is here, and he says, the dark side of the Force leads to many abilities some may consider unnatural.
True.
The Akai Warrior says, nothing is canon now except you know who having a grandkid. Yeah, that's fair. Robin says, good idea for a topic. My guilty pleasure definitely includes Sonic R on the Saturn. You are wrong, my friend. It's terrible. But I appreciate your input. Thank you very much. Let's have a look at the next game that is worth looking at.
So this one is a bit of a left field choice, actually, because I can't remember how lambasted it was. It's just kind of an unknown quantity. And that's why it's kind of a guilty pleasure, because no one knows what it fucking is.
Well, that's always a guilty pleasure.
And that's Roscoe McQueen for the PlayStation 1. Did you ever play this?
I don't know what this is.
So Roscoe McQueen, I'm sure people in the chat are going to be like, what? Roscoe McQueen was sick. And it was. You're a firefighter.
Okay.
Firefighter. And you've got to put out fires and save people from floors in a high rise. So basically, it's Grenfell Simulator.
So it's ouch. I was going to say, so it's kind of like me when I was streaming with Top Hat, constantly walking around pissing out bonfires.
Yes, exactly the same, but neither are smelly or irritating.
Yes.
But I really did. I really enjoyed Roscoe McQueen. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, as Iron Secret just said. It's a lot of fun. Lots of and Akari Royce just said never heard of this game. This is why I kind of think it's a bit of a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit of an unknown quantity. I had a lot of fun playing it.
And I'm sure nobody knows how wrong you are, which is quite a nice one to put out there.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is very good. That is very good. It's one I would recommend anyone that's a PS1 fan that hasn't played it. I would recommend they go and try it out. It's again a bit of an unsung hero. I think it's worthwhile either grabbing a ROM of it or getting a cheap copy of it somewhere. It is fun. Yeah,
I'd like to put it up against Firefighters on the Super Nintendo, which is a fucking glorious game.
I never played Firefighters on the SNES, you know.
Maybe we should do.
Maybe we'll look at that. Yeah. Maybe we'll look at that.
Later on our stream on twitch.tv/TopHatChat, where we are going to be playing lots of games.
Not Pokemon Snap.
Not Pokemon Snap, because I dug it out for the first time, got everything set up, and then realised it had inverted controls that you can't change, and it annoyed me.
Practice needed.
Yes.
Game that you didn't need practice for is one of my next choices. Now, this comes from the mighty Lionhead Studio.
Okay.
And who headed Lionhead Studio? Our Lord and Saviour, Peter Molyneux. It's the movies. The movies on PC. Did you ever play the movies?
I did not play the movies.
So this game was like a what do you call it? A sim game. I can't remember what they're called now. Where it's like Theme Hospital and Zoo Tycoon. A tycoon game. It's a tycoon game style. Okay. So like, you know, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Zoo Tycoon, things like that. Also embedded in with like an in-game movie maker. So basically you ran a studio lot. And you hired actors and you hired all the people that worked in your studio. Because it starts from the very like beginnings of the silent movies into the talkies, into the golden era of 1920s, 30s Hollywood, up to the 60s. And like all these advancements change and certain things are popular at times like westerns or sci-fis or horror. It's really deep, and I love a good tycoon game. I'm properly in love with tycoon games. They're some of my favourite things to play ever. And the movie making aspect was really weird. You got the characters to write a script, and they wrote a script, and then you put it into photography, and then it'd work out what scenes are needed for it, and then they would all go and act it, but you had control over what actor did what, and how the scene was shot. You could go really in depth with it and make your own proper movies, like of varying lengths, and it was a lot of fun. No one played it, and it was awesome, and it really was a lot of fun. I really hope that people out there played the movies, and it wasn't just me, because I bloody loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. It's probably not the best of the kind of tycoon games, I would go on to say.
But you don't know that because you haven't played it.
I know, but I would guess it.
And no one played it, so you can't put it in the same bracket. Don't get me wrong. Zoo Tycoon is probably the best tycoon game ever made.
Theme Hospital's up there.
Oh, Theme Hospital's tremendous. It is absolutely brilliant. I love it. I like Theme Park. I love Roller Coaster Tycoon. But the best ever is Zoo Tycoon with the Dinosaurs add-on and the Marine Mania add-on.
Yeah,
they were hours lost to that game. And this has a special place next to it. The movies has a place next to it. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, I have to take your word for it. Right, next game on your list of gaming pleasures.
NES classic of a game. In fact, it's got game in the title. It's California Games.
See, we played California Games not so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fucking terrible.
It's great.
It's not.
There's Hacky Sack, that classic competitive sport.
Yeah.
There was BMX in, there's rollerblading.
I was trying to get tickets to the Hacky Sack World Championships a couple of years ago and sold out.
Yeah, can't get hold of them because there's so many California Games fans out there. Yeah. I had untold amounts of fun with this as a kid, when playing with my cousin and my friends and stuff. And it still holds a really special place in my heart. The music, they're really simplistic events. Lots of people really don't like it, including you, including probably everybody in chat or in the community.
California Games is terrible. I mean, even Top Hat Game Man hates it, and he likes anything that he thinks he can make money off of. And he probably could. Oh, he hates California.
He does. He does.
So he probably hates California Games as well, I'm going to guess.
And you're right. Who was it who said it? It was Lion Secret who said California Games was on everything. That's very true.
But you're speaking specifically about
the NES version, because that was the only version I played. I didn't play the Amiga ones and Commodores. I know that was out there. But...
It's just, the thing is that, as a NES game it's terrible. The controls are poor. The graphics are poor, even for a NES game. There's nothing going for it. The music is non-existent, practically.
No. It has really good little jams. Really good little jams.
Fucking terrible. It's awful.
It's great. People love that game. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's not the same song.
I love it. I know you don't love it. There's a game here that Silver just brings up. He said Discworld was a point and click game.
That was fucking sweet, like Chocolate Boy.
It was indeed. Good song.
I'm depressed about that.
Obtuse and frustrating. However, Eric Idle is great as Windswind, and the Discworld is so iconic. I love the Discworld point and click
Discworld games are sick.
I played them on PC. I absolutely bloody loved it.
I've never played them, but I've watched people play them. They're just very, very good.
I'm a huge point and click fan, as you guys know. So yeah, that one had my number. Yeah. It's a great combination.
Thumbs up all round.
It's a great combination. You literally can't beat it. It's got that sort of acerbic wit to it. That nonsense approach that Pratchett had that was beautiful.
But these aren't good games we're talking about. We're talking about terrible games that you specifically think
it's
are
a guilty pleasure. It's a guilty pleasure.
Discworld isn't a guilty pleasure. Discworld is a pleasure.
I'm going to move on to my second two for now. And this is split across two systems. This is PS1 and PC. The first one is the Small Soldiers game for PS1.
Oh, God. The Small Soldiers game.
Small Soldiers was fan-bloody-tastic. The multiplayer was next level awesome. It was so good. Everyone wanted to be Major Chip Hazard. Everyone wanted to be Archer, leader of the Gorgonites, and an emissary of the Gorgonites. Yeah. Everyone wanted to be these players. Nick Nitro, you could be them all.
I see.
Scratch it.
I didn't... I mean, when did this come out? 99?
Oh, 97, 98.
97, 98?
98, yeah.
See, I was too young to have any friends at that
98.
point. So I didn't get to enjoy the multiplayer.
You're not too young to have friends at that age. You're just too young to have the friends you wanted.
That's true. But anyway, I didn't have any friends at this point. So I only got to play... like nothing. I got to play multiplayer by myself, and that's fucking miserable, and that's why I hate this game. Fuck this game, and fuck your nostalgia for it.
What you want about the film was a great little throwback to when you were a kid. The game's a lot of fun.
Shit now.
Oh,
but yeah, okay, fair enough.
The second part to this twofer, though, is the Small Soldiers Design Lab on PC. Did you ever play this?
I didn't know.
I'm going to include another game with this afterwards as a quick explanation, but the Design Lab was a game where you built your own small soldier type model. So the whole premise of the game, of the movie, was there were these toys that had like guidance chips for missiles put into their as processors for their brains and shit, so they just turned all sentient. It's not how chips work, but but that's what it was. And basically, you fight off against another toy that the computer had built, but you had to design it with all the certain chips in it and the weapons and this, that, and forth. It was actually quite involved. There was a lot of research into it, like building up enough points to spend on research and things like that. I'm a sucker for like those tycoon games as well, and it kind of similar to that. It was a lot of silly fun. Me and my brother, who we don't have the best relationship, actually bonded quite a lot over that game. So it does have a special place in my heart for that.
Yeah, I can't really take that away from you, no matter how much I want to.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's a bit harsh. But I loved it. And the game I'm going to lump in with it
again is so you lumped in the game that you're lumping in a game with. Yeah.
It's the Robot Wars on the PlayStation 2. Is very similar.
Okay, yeah. I did play that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, Robot Wars. It's a very similar premise to that. You build your robot, but you have to unlock all the certain design aspects that you can have, and the weaponry, and the sort of electronics inside of it, and the tracks, and the shell. I loved it. It's very similar to that.
This is when I played this game. It was the first time I realised that I probably wasn't going to enter a STEM field. I was like, I'm shit at this, and it bores me, and I turned it off. But it bored me because I was shit at it, not because the game was shit. But because it was more complex than let's just aim and fire at something or let's jump on this platform, I just no, not doing it. And that was my mistake. My mistake, and I'll admit to that.
Good, good, because it was it's good silly fun. Good silly fun.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure it would have been fun for anybody with half a brain, which I don't possess.
Oh, don't be so harsh on yourself.
It's fucking true, though.
No.
If I would have actually put time into this game and actually knew what I was doing with it, I would have enjoyed it.
Quite possibly. You shouldn't have been so judgmental.
See, you
shouldn't have been so judgmental.
Yeah. There's another game that you want to talk about, I assume, directly after this one. So quick, fire away.
LA Noire.
See, why the hell is this on your list?
Because actually, if you look at overall, it's a very middling rated game in terms of review score.
This game is fucking brilliant.
I love it. I literally love it. When it came out, I couldn't get enough of it. I was dreaming in black and white. I had fucking 1940s jazz playing in my head all the time. Yeah. I wanted to be a detective for a brief period. Like saying to myself, I shouldn't be in education. Do you know what I should be? I should be a detective. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe a private investigator can have a smoky office and listen to jazz and wear a trench coat.
Yeah, that's not how PIs work anymore, though.
I know, and it sucks, but it's a game that lets you live out that sort of fantasy.
Yeah, you see, I hate that era. I think it's boring and miserable. There was no smartphones. There wasn't even games at this point. So yeah, I didn't pick up this game. I really, really didn't want anything to do with it when it first came out. The technology interested me, but not enough for me to seek it out and overlook the fact that it was from a shitty era. Then you made me play it on stream. Mm-hmm. And oh my god, was I mistaken.
Great, isn't it?
The game's fucking brilliant.
The technology they use for the facials and stuff like that is like top drawer. It's never been beaten.
It's never been beaten because it was very expensive to do, and it still is very expensive to do. Unfortunately, it's not perfect.
It's not perfect, but
you get a lot of. Of course, I didn't do it.
No, that was a bit of a weird thing.
You get a lot of that, which is really, really unnatural.
But the game did it.
What are you talking about?
The game did give us one of the best lines ever from gaming, though. You fuck young boys, Valdez.
That is one of the best lines on.
It's like a stream meme as well. Yeah. People regularly use that.
Yeah, over on twitch.tv/TopBadChat. We're going straight after this. 9 p.m.
Second.
every Saturday, UK time.
There's a game also on this list I didn't note down that I really want to quickly talk about before we move over. And that's a game called Virtual Bar on the PC. Virtual Springfield on the PC.
Yeah.
Did you play Virtual Springfield?
I didn't, but again, it's a game I've seen people play.
It is minimal on gameplay. Like, there is barely any gameplay in it at all. Like, there's some it's just like an exploration tool for Springfield. But there was like little puzzles in there to unlock different areas, and there was trading cards to find and collect. I sunk hours into that as a kid, and I really loved it. And it's just not rated very highly, and I know why. It's barely a game. Yeah, it's barely a game, but I bloody loved it.
It's like a tech demo.
But you see, I'm really my nerdiness. Like, sometimes I don't present it very much, but I was the sort of kid that liked to genuinely sit down and read. Before Wikipedia was a thing, I would have the Encyclopedia Britannica CD-ROMs.
Oh, yeah.
And I would literally just be sitting there going, I'll read this article.
See, I never would have thought.
Read this article.
See, I never would have thought that of you.
Such a dick. Huh. How dare you? How bloody dare you?
It sounds fun.
It is. It was fun, and this is a sort of similar game. You just sat there and sort of soaked in information. It was good. It was like learning done in the best way.
Learning Springfield. Useless.
That's what literally all my knowledge is. Yeah. I try and tell people this and go, no, you know more than that. It's like, no, it's all useless shit. Yeah. It's literally all useless shit. It has no application. But it's fun, and I loved it.
Anyway, next game.
Right, there's two more on the list, and I'm going to go through them really quickly from my behalf, and I think you have one that you want to briefly mention.
There is, because it's the only one that I could think about.
So I'm going to list off the last two. OG South Park on the PlayStation 1, the first-person shooter.
Oh, God.
I was a big South Park fan as a kid. I really loved the fact that there was a South Park game. I was like, oh, this is like GoldenEye, but for South Park. That's like how my mind worked at that time. I know it was shit. I really liked games like Medal of Honor as well at the same time, which did it so much better. Like, did first-person shooting so much better than that, but it didn't have yellow snowballs as a weapon, and the alien dancing box as a weapon, and the cow launcher.
Yeah.
I know it's shit. It's horrible, and the sounds are terrible, and the graphics are awful, and it is a bloody terrible game. But it does hold a little place in my heart.
I think it's hard for me to argue with this because you pointed out all of the mistakes with the game already. The fact that it wasn't very good as far as gameplay. The controls felt jank when you used them. Last time I played it, I got stuck in a hole where it just clipped on something and I couldn't get out.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking terrible. Yeah, there was some funny weapons, but the novelty wore off very quickly. You pointed all those things out. It's just...
Yeah, I know it's bad, man.
But I can understand why you like it.
Yes.
South Park does hold a lot of...
There's
I hold it in high esteem.
There's something I've got to bring up. Apparently today, there was obviously the Play Expo in Margate.
Oh, yeah, there was.
Top Hat on his panel said that Hotel Mario is a better game than Sonic Adventure.
See, that may be his guilty pleasure, and I am not a big fan of Sonic Adventure. But oh my god, how wrong is that man?
I know, it's
mind-blowing.
That's just painful. It's hurt me so much.
Absolutely mind-blowing.
Like, it's hurt me so much. I can't even get involved with that idea. I can't. I've got one last game to revisit on that somber note, and that is a PlayStation 1 game again. It's Bugs Bunny Lost in Time. Did you ever play Bugs Bunny Lost in Time?
I did, but I have absolutely no real memory of it.
The Bugs Bunny stuff and those cartoons, that was Warner Brothers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Massive place in my childhood was growing up watching very old cartoons from like the 30s.
Yeah,
onward.
you're a massive Wacky Races fan.
I love Wacky Races. I love old Scooby Doo from the 60s. I love all the Warner Brothers stuff. Tom and Jerry, classic like racist Tom and Jerry and stuff.
Racist Tom and Jerry.
I love all the classics. I watched them all as a kid, and I still watch them fairly regularly to this day. It was a period of animation that never was beaten really, and I'm a huge Simpsons fan and Futurama and things like that. But as kid cartoons, they never got any better than what they were already doing for 30, 40 years in that period of time. So I've got a huge soft spot for Bugs Bunny, and actually my memories of the game are better than what my experience of playing it fairly recently was. It was pretty much impossible to play. It was so terrible. But I love the characters, I love the music, I love the story. It was fun when I was a kid playing it. Maybe I overlooked it a lot, like the terrible parts a lot, but it is a guilty pleasure of mine. I would much rather watch someone play it than play it myself though now.
It's a weird game. I can't really argue with it. I don't remember hating it. I just have no memory of it. It was like nothing, and I think that's worse. I think in some ways that having a game that you nothing is like if you see something that you really like, you should dislike, but you don't really dislike them. You literally nothing them. Mm-hmm. That's worse.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably worse. Yeah.
I would prefer to be hated than nothing, and that's definitely Top Hat's mantra.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've heard him say that pretty much.
Yeah.
Every day I've ever talked to him.
Yeah, he brings it up a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's like he's trying to tell himself.
Yeah. This is better. But yeah, so there are your guilty pleasures.
Oh yeah, it was. Jack Randall just brought up a tremendous one.
Go.
Sorry, Bugs Life.
Ooh,
that would have been on the list if I'd have thought of it.
Yeah,
that was another one of them games.
Yeah,
probably objectively terrible, but actually I had a hell of a lot of fun playing Bugs Life as a kid. Like a really good game. Well, it's not, but it is.
Yeah, Sheep Raider, Sheepdog and Wolf.
I never actually played that.
Rex.
Never actually played Sheepdog and Wolf, despite the fact I love Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. I never played it.
Yeah. Okay, so there's one honourable mention that I would like to point out from my play, because it's the one game that I could think of that is definitely a guilty pleasure. And I really, really enjoyed the game Naughty Bear.
I know nothing about this.
Okay, so Naughty Bear is basically, you are a teddy bear.
I love it already.
I know. And you have to go around and literally slaughter other teddy bears.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
And you get like different costumes and shit. The controls are very basic. Like, it's like a hack and slash, but it's like a third person hack and slash but without the excitement or action or fun.
Oh, it sounds tremendous. I want to play it.
But there is some really, really interesting animations. There are some quite fun costumes. And it's one that's worth picking up because it's going to be cheap as hell. And it's...
What's it on?
360, I think.
360.
Yeah. So it's a later one than everything that was previously mentioned.
Yeah, well, other than LA Noire.
Yeah, other than Animar, yeah. And it's an interesting game. It's something that you can play for a couple of hours before you bash your head off of a very hard object. Because it gets so fucking repetitive. But it is interesting. It's worth having a look at. If I can find my copy, I'll lend it to you. Because
nice. I'd like to try that out.
Yeah.
There's a game that... another objectively bad game that it's called LA Future Cop or something. LA Future PD. No it was like set in a dystopian future where drug wars were happening. You were like this Gundam mech sort of thing that the police had developed to combat drug gangs, because that's obviously it was the 90s. So they were like, people like Escobar are just going to go too mental and going to have all these fucking armies and take over LA and stuff. It was from a weird time in PlayStation history. Another PS1 game. I forgot to put it on there because I actually think it got fairly decent reviews and people still like it, but no one ever talks about it. I bloody love it.
Is RoboCop on the SNES shit?
Never played it on the SNES, you know. No, I haven't.
I remember having some enjoyment out of that.
Future Cop, LAPD, that's what it's called.
Go,
Future Cop, love it. Yeah. That's it. Thank you, Ikari Warrior. No, so.
There we go. So that was your list of guilty pleasures.
I actually really enjoyed it. It's quite cathartic.
Yeah, it was interesting to learn some of the things that you like so much, so I know that we can never play them because your enjoyment upsets me.
What?
Yeah, that list that we just made, I'm going to go back through, write them all down, put them up on the wall, and we're never playing any of them. Yeah, it's nice to know the things that you like so I can displease you by never doing anything to do with them. Yeah.
You're a horrible person.
I tricked you.
We have a random question from Jake Randall that I'd like to address.
Worth asking.
We'll just do one. He says, random question. Anyone Animal Crossing players, what are the guilty pleasures Animal Crossing type games? I'm not a big Animal Crossing player, you know.
No, I'm not, although you were very much considering it.
Yeah, I was, because it's another game for obviously the Switch that I'm interested in bulking up the collection for. I just don't know if I'm ready to lose hours into like another sort of Minecrafty type affair. Like another Stardew Valley. I'd rather play Stardew Valley, you know.
Yeah. I think it's never really piqued my interest. Ever, no. The Animal Crossing games, and I don't think the new one will either.
No.
Especially bearing in mind that there's going to be shitloads of DLC for it.
Yeah.
And I'm just not that into it.
No.
I prefer to pump my money into something else. Like streams that I enjoy.
Good point. Which is a good segue, because that's where we're going right now. Over to twitch.tv/Top Hat Chat.
Yeah, that was fun. You can also find us at all the usual places that we'll let you know before we go. You can find us over at Instagram, just search for Top Hat Chat or our names individually. Our Twitter handles are currently across the bottom of the screen, just down here. We also have a Patreon, which we've just given a little revamp to. You're welcome to pop over there and have a look at that. And we're also accepting donations over on Twitch, where we are heading right now, twitch.tv/Top Hat Chat, where we play games every Saturday at 9 PM UK time.
Yes, and this evening we are doing a retro menagerie. You guys love it.
I hate that word.
Why? Menagerie's a fucking gorgeous word.
Not keen. Anyway, if you would like to question us...
Smorgasbord.
Oh, that's worse. If you would like to question us on the use of the word smorgasbord or menagerie, then you're welcome to over at twitch.tv/Top Hat Chat, where we'll be very interactive, considerably more so than this stream, where we have been talking about a specific topic and trying to get you lot to interact in chat too. Yeah, because there was 2 at the start. Yeah, it took ages for this to ramp up.
I know, it did.
If you haven't currently made a Twitch account, it takes about 2 seconds. That might be an exaggeration. And it's free. You just go over there, give us a follow. And you can see all of our videos that we make over there, where you can interact with us for a long time.
Yeah. Come and join us. I'd like to say a special thank you to everyone, because it actually was a really engaging chat this evening.
And also a massive thank you to our current patrons. We have Seabass the Great, Andy Aldrich, Vladis, Mark Bell, Tom Elliott and Van Tones. Thank you to all of you for contributing to this channel. It is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, lovely stuff.
Here we go.
Lovely stuff.
Did I forget anything?
No, I think that's it. No, I think you covered every base.
Wow, that's the first time I've done that without stuttering.
Right, see you in a moment.
Yeah, catch you later, guys.